Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are tapped into the Buccateers podcast. I am your host, Tampa Tones, joined alongside co-host Stun of the other three Stooges are out of the building today. Bucko the Bruce, Cody G, and A-Cats. They couldn't make it, but we got three new great gentlemen joining us. The gentlemen from Madden Underground. There's some great football and Madden brains in general, so we're really excited about that. We got Snipes Brian and Philly's guy joining us, and we're going to bring him in here shortly. We're going to let our intro roll, and then we're going to get going with some football and Madden talk. We're excited to pick the brain of Madden Underground and really excited for this podcast in general. So you guys are tuned in to the Buccateers. Let's roll. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. Beat Bug.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna is hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our intro into the Buccateers. We have some fun here, as you can tell. We have a lot of great guests, and we got great guests today. The three from Madden Underground. I've seen them tweeting. I've seen them putting out content. I've seen what they're about. So it was really a pleasure to have them come on the show, and I was pleasantly surprised. It is three individuals, which is awesome. You know, I love it. The more, the merrier. So we got a lot of good guys in the building. We got Brian, we got Snipes, we got Philly's guys. So I'm going to let y'all in and introduce yourself a little bit. We understand you guys got a podcast, obviously a big Twitter with a nice following. Y'all got an Instagram, yada, 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 the whole 9 or 10 yards, whatever the hell the old saying's in. But nonetheless, we got Brian here and the rest of Madden Underground. Brian, I'll turn it over to you, my friend. How the hell are you? And thanks for joining the Buccateers.
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having us. First off, thanks for having us. We're happy to be here, man, and appreciate the hospitality.
Absolutely. And where can the good people follow you and your podcast at on Twitter, and where can they find the show or even the content?
Oh, you can find us on you can follow us on Twitter at UG Madden. That's the Twitter, UG Madden, UG and Madden. You know, that's what Madden. You can catch the podcast every Wednesday live on via twitch.tv and YouTube, twitch.tv/Madden Underground. Same with YouTube/Madden Underground. And or you can catch us on Spotify as well now. So we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, and just search up Madden Underground Podcast, and you can catch us every Wednesday. New episode will be there.
So you guys will be with the new episode tomorrow then, huh?
Definitely. Got a big one tomorrow. We actually have Thomas Graham of the Chicago Bears, cornerback from the Chicago Bears, coming onto the podcast tomorrow. So that's gonna be a pretty big episode for us.
Yeah, we're very excited to hear that. We're lucky to have you guys on. We'll link that episode when we release this one on Friday. We'll make sure to put your guys' new episode out with him in our link and description, so we'll help our fan base reach you guys as well. It. Yeah, no problem. You know, podcast brothers help podcast brothers out. That's how we do. Let's turn it loose to Snipes, and we'll bounce to Philly's guys. Snipes, how the hell are you? A little bit about yourself and where the people can follow you on stuff as well.
Well, my name is Snipes. But my first name is Wesley. But I go by Snipes, Snipes TV. Everybody can follow me at Snipes TV on Twitch. That's SNYPZ TV on Twitch. Also on, that's on Twitter. On Twitch, it's Snipes Television. So it's SNYPZ and then television, all one word. I just basically I do in-game commentary for Madden for multiple leagues, including Madden Underground. These are my brothers here, and been brothers for quite a few years here. Rocking with them. I've been doing the commentary thing for Madden for probably the past going on 4 years. When this Madden releases, it's going on to 4 years.
Wow.
So yeah, so definitely it's exciting, it's fun, and if anybody gets an opportunity to come check it out, man, I promise you'll have a blast.
I'm absolutely gonna check that out, man. Your voice is better. Besides, the late great John Madden and Gus Johnson was pretty damn good. But I'd put you right up there on Madden commentators with the rest of them, man. So that's great that you do that, and I think it's cool, fun stuff that they do that with Madden leagues and so forth and whatnot to
Right.
spruce it up a little bit because some of the same old content gets a little
Stale.
repetitive, stale, and
Yep.
whatnot. And at the end of the day, gaming is becoming just as big as reality damn near. So it's always great to have voices be heard on broadcast, whether it's virtual or reality, or virtual reality, I guess. So
There it is.
Snipes, we appreciate you finding your way on, my friend, and we look forward to tapping into your broadcast for Madden Underground and other Madden various games throughout the season. That'll be a fun time. And Philly's guy, let's hear it, my friend. Last but not least, man, let's hear what you're about. I know you're a Jets guy. Things are on the up and up for you over there, at least.
Yeah, things are on up and up, man. And look, I know we had a chance to talk a little bit before we came on, but thank you once again for having us on the show. Now, I've known both of these gentlemen for about 20 years, so you definitely did not save the best for last. I'm the man behind the curtain. I'm the man behind the curtain. That's basically what I am. And so, and I'm proud of it too, because look, social media, it is what it is. If you want to watch an OG play, old school style of football, then yes, you can follow me on Twitch. It's just PhillyGuy73, nothing fancy. Now my crew that I came from back in Philadelphia, they were known as Game Time Philly. They've won the most Madden challenges as a crew. They are legendary. They're epic. And as you can see, Brian is rolling his eyes because, I met Brian the first time that I actually moved to the West Coast. Okay. So, and I knew Snipes when he was on the East Coast. So Brian has been giving me the business. He's gonna make fun of me for you calling me Philly's guys. I was like, what? I should probably change my name to that. I was like, that actually sounds kind of cool. Philly's guys. Like, yeah,
Especially lunchtime.
I am Philly's guy. Yeah, I'm there. But yeah, man, it's just great to be part of something that these two gentlemen built. Snipes has the golden pipes. Brian has the vision. You see what I did there? Clever play on words, Brian James.
I see.
And it's just amazing to even be on this show to be able to talk about something that we all love, and that's football.
Yeah, definitely, man. We all love football and, what Madden brings to it and, the game itself and all the opportunities it's presented us. I mean, look at all of us right here talking about the game itself, and that's for one reason, football. We all love it, and we all talk football with people who love football and know football. So we're honored to have you fellas on the show. You guys we've had a couple other, we didn't really consider pregame, post games back in the day any episode, but this is our 75th episode that will be on the airwaves. So we appreciate you guys being able to join us for that. That's pretty damn cool. If you guys could, it seems like you guys are all different aspects. You guys all bring cool elements to the table, right? Snipes is a voice guy. Brian is the one with the vision, and Philly Guy is the one behind the scenes making it all happen. So what's the ultimate background story of Madden Underground, I guess, so to speak? And what do you guys, I know you guys run leagues, you guys have a podcast episode tomorrow kind of describing, while I'm assuming sharing player leagues and thoughts about that and whatnot. So what's the story behind Madden? And how rude of me. I'm actually going to bring Stunna in here. We haven't heard from him yet. Stunna, how the hell are you? That's my bad, my friend. I'm not leaving you in the dark, man. I can't see you, but I'm hearing you.
Hey, it's all good. I got some questions for Brian, but let's want to hear about the background. But Brian specifically, I have some questions about the tournaments.
Okay.
Is there any more live tournaments? Is it all online?
Um,
What's the mode being played in that? Is it the traditional exhibition 1-on-1? Is it more MUT now? I have a lot of questions about the tournaments that you guys run when we get into this.
okay, definitely. If you want me to answer that now, I got the answers for you.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it. So the tournaments, are there live tournaments? Or is it, they used to have like people go to a live event like a host, an arena. Are they still doing that, or is it more an online thing now?
As of right now, since due to just all the COVID situations and the restrictions placed on a lot of the esports venues because of COVID, it's majority online, and that gives everybody the ability to play from the comfort of their own homes. No, you don't have to travel, no gas money, especially with the gas prices now. You can work and play from the comfort of your own home, your living room, and sign up on the website, and you can play regs. We have regs tournaments, which is exhibition head to head, and then we also have tournaments that cater to MUT players as well.
Absolutely awesome. So, do you host these online events? Do you have to have sponsors to do that? Is there a specific method that you have to do in order to host the tournaments?
Not necessarily. We don't have any sponsors at the moment. If you guys, anyone out there that's interested in sponsor, we're definitely open to that. But most of our tournaments, they have a minimal small buy-in, and it's normally winner takes all. We were doing a tournament every Monday, which will continue once the game drops. It's called the Fast Money Tournament. It was no more than 16 guys every week, every Monday. They would compete for the entire pot, and it was I think it was a $20 buy-in, and then all the guys would compete for the pot, walk away with the money, and be satisfied and happy, and be looking forward to the next week. So
it's like a raffle. It's like a raffle, but it's with skill involved.
Yeah, something like something like that.
Same concept. Everyone put in money.
Yeah, everybody put a little money, compete, and walk away with some cash.
That's it.
That's good, man. Cash. That's pretty fun, man. So a little more about you guys. What's the background quick before Stunna jumps in with some more questions? Just the ultimate background of Madden Underground and how you three kind of came together and making it work together, like what you guys do specifically, or what the ultimate goal, I guess, of Madden Underground is.
We all come from the background of this a community, a gaming community called the Madden World Syndicate. That community is not really, it doesn't really exist anymore. So we wanted to have something that was tailored to our needs and the community element that they created, that we want to keep that legacy alive. So what we did was we came up with Madden Underground, like Philly alluded to. We've known each other for plenty of years. We've all were part of the Madden World Syndicate. We all competed there, and when it kind of disbanded, or wasn't really catering to the Madden community anymore, we decided, we want to have something that was something that we all met through, was the Madden World Syndicate. We want to create something similar to that where we were able to bring gamers together from all parts of the world and be able to compete on a high level. And so far we've been able to do that. It's been very successful. We found ourselves at the NFL Network. We found ourselves on TV on NFL Network. NFL.com featured us before and things like that. And it was something that we all got together and thought about, talked about, discussed, because there was nothing else like it at the time, since the Madden World Syndicate was no more. So we basically all try to keep that legacy alive, and brotherhood through competition is the motto that we live by, man. We're all brothers. We all the people in our community operate and function like brothers, tight knit community. We're but very welcoming, to anybody that wants to compete and participate and feel a part of. And even with players like you see Thomas Graham of the Chicago Bears, he's played in our league. He was in our league when he was playing at Oregon, before he even got drafted. So, it's just he's part of our community. So he's coming back to share his experiences in the NFL with his brothers, and we greatly appreciate it. And that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. And like I said, I've known Philly for over 20 years. I've known Snipes for about, I think, 10 now. So
10. I was the last. I was the last of the Mohicans to come up in there.
Yeah, but it's been a long time now. So it's we've grown to be real tight knit. Philly's the godfather of my son. Snipes is like my older brother, man, and like I said, Snipes is the voice of the community, the vocals, and if you want to have a game commentated over, this is the guy you want to have. He has great play-by-play commentary, and everything's up to par at all times.
Yeah, that's awesome. Stunna, what say you? Let's hear some more of your questions for these guys.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Madden is very popular, and it's popular because of the ratings and the way they rate the players based in the league. And to me, it's a very subjective process. There's not a lot of objectivity going on there. And the ratings adjusters refuse to release the algorithms they use based on these ratings.
Yeah.
Okay. And they refuse to look at stats, or they use PFF as an excuse. And then when you say, well, here's the PFF data, they still don't recognize that. They just throw darts at a wall to determine these stats. And they used to have this video up. They took it down where that was exactly what they were doing in a roundtable talking about how Saquon Barkley needed to be a 95. And I'm like, based on what? What attributes?
Yeah.
You know, what measurables? I don't think it's a legit or equitable process right now, the way they're doing it, honestly. So I wanted to get your guys' input. In my opinion, the Buccaneers got shaded last year. Our offense, defensive line, and secondary specifically. And when in the gameplay, I play regs, but in the gameplay, because I love my team, we're easy to run the ball on. But traditionally we've had a run defense that's been stellar the last 3 years. And it's like they don't watch the game. They don't recognize that. They don't recognize the play aspect of football. It's like they're just more into the game than the actual process that the game is based on, which is why it's popular. And we know that because if they didn't have that NFL Shield, if it was like Doug Flutie's football game, for example, it wouldn't have the backing. So I want to get you guys' input. I know that you're probably passionate about your players on your teams as well that you feel might be shaded. And so I wanted to hear you guys' feeling about the ratings, the rating adjusters, and why aren't the fans being used, and why do certain players get boosted up based on their social media presence more than what they're doing on the field?
Okay, real quick, Brian, I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna tell you guys right now, Brian has a lot to say. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, he's got a lot to say. But let me just say, Stranger, I love the way he just brought that up because, guys, Brian, Philly, we ain't the only ones that feel this way.
No,
We've
I mean,
been feeling for a long time.
Snipes, you're right.
But we the only ones that feel this way about these ratings.
No, you're definitely right, man. But look, I was a little worried for a second because Stunner just came in swinging. You know what I'm saying? He came in he came in swinging, and I was like, "Oh wow, Snipes, you gonna walk into that? Oh, okay, no, you gonna defend Saquon Barkley? Like, where you going with this?
Oh no! I wasn't gonna say nothing about Saquon. But we'll get to that.
No, he's a great player, but I'm saying that the determine the ratings. You should say he's agile. He has burst. Is he better at 20 to 40 or 0 to 20? Where's the speed dictated at?
Yeah,
they're not looking at the actual measurables. It's like they ignore the combine. It's like they ignore the actual data that's put out there, and then you have a guy getting a 99, and other people are outrunning him.
Okay.
Why aren't they a 99?
Okay,
Brian.
Okay,
Brian, get in there, Brian. Get in there, Brian.
Okay. Like we did a theory. Tyquan Thornton had the fastest 40 time of all receivers at the combine.
Right.
You know what Tyquan Thornton's speed was when the ratings came out yesterday?
91.
94.
That's what they have Scotty Miller the same way.
94.
It's like they stopped the top of where they at because and I've even got them to admit on Twitter, oh, we don't want one team to be OP. Well, guess what? Too bad if that team is OP, if that's what the player actually is rated. That's those players. It's the NFL. Madden back in the day when the motto was if it's in the game, it's in the game. You could take any team and win. It was like the actual NFL. There was actual parity before they started putting the stars and the X's on these players. You know, you could take any team and you'll beat another team because they got players. This is the NFL. Every team is legit. You know, but now it seems like they let their personal opinions get involved, and they showed a lot of favoritism. If Keenan Allen gets on there and cries, "Ooh, I don't like my rating," all of a sudden you got the Chargers are a super team, and no offense to Charger fans, but I ain't seeing it. So it's a little silly to me. But go ahead, Brian. Let's hear it.
Okay, well, like I said, I totally agree with you in that sense. I haven't none of us have been able to figure out what exactly are they going by to determine the ratings of these players, because if you say 40 time, then you would think what's the kind of
our theory they're using popularity to determine it.
It may be a combination of both, like a little 40 time and then a little popularity to boost it up a little bit. I don't know, but in my opinion, John Ross should be the fastest guy in the game. He set the record for the fastest 40 time, and he's not the fastest guy in the game. He should be. Tyreek Hill, I get it. Tyreek Hill ran a 4.21. They clocked it. It was actually they have video footage of it happening and things like that. And it actually looked faster than the 4.21 when I watched the video. So I get the Tyreek Hill 99 speed thing. But there are a lot of other guys that are fast, if not just as fast as Tyreek Hill, that don't get the type of love that Tyreek Hill gets. You know, you got Marquise Goodwin, who qualified for the Olympics. For Pete's sake, you know what I mean? He actually qualified for the Olympics, so that guy should be he's a 96 speed in Madden, but he should also be a 99 speed
in that category.
You said what?
Surreal Grayson for the Buccaneers is
another guy. You know, so there are a lot of players that have game breaking speed, and I know that they said that they were going based on the top speed miles per hour on the field. That's what the last thing I was told by the developer was that they're basing it off of players reaching the top speed. So it can be like, I think the Giants quarterback reached 21 miles per hour. So they took him from 84 speed to 88 speed. You know, so I'm like, okay, I get that, but there are other guys who reach speeds of 23 miles per hour, and they're still not as fast, you know, on the game. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out as well. Stunning.
And unfortunately, it's all about ratings and it's all about speed. If you have one speed, you're going to beat them. When I use the Buccaneers, I can't run a cover two because they have our secondary so slow, and you run a fade up the sideline, you got a touchdown. And so, or if my DB is in position, but you have Adams for Green Bay, and he's got the star X power or whatever, he just catches it right anyway. Even though I have position, leverage, everything I need to get the interception, he's just going to take the ball away from me because he's got the light up power.
The light up power, yeah,
exactly. It's a little silly, you know. And it's like
I get they want to make certain players stand out and things like that, but at the end of the day, these are all NFL players, and you have to have some type of skill set to even make it to play at that level. You know, I think if you're gonna give people powers, then what are the ratings for? That's the question. That was the question that I've had for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years since they implemented the abilities. But it has. I think everything in the game should be rating based. And then the ratings. I think every rating that a player is given, it should be accounted for. You know, you should be able to explain why that rating exists, what it's for, and how it impacts the game in some capacity. You know, so that's just my opinion. But you never know. I don't know. I don't work for EA. You know, I'm not saying that I don't want to work for EA. I would love to work there, but they haven't offered me a job to give me the inside view behind the curtain. So I don't know. I haven't been able to look under the engine yet as to why the ratings are impacting the game the way they do.
Yeah, and I think that that's a great topic, and I think that's interesting. The ratings, especially because it's such a controversial topic. But we know you guys are running some leagues, and you guys are hoping get Madden players exposures that they deserve according to the Twitter bio or whatnot. So, name an example of how you guys throw people into the ring of fire, or if people are wondering how to perhaps make a bid to get into any league, maybe your league specifically. How can a newbie Madden guy looking to get into leagues like myself, or perhaps wide receiver Kalen Geiger Sr. of the Buccaneers, who said he's interested perhaps, how do these newer guys get acclimated with leagues, or, where should they start with leagues necessarily?
You can go to our website, maddenunderground.com, and there's a league tab there, and just sign up. And if you know you get your feet wet, see if you like it. I would recommend also participating in the tournament just to see where you stand skill wise, um, against some of the players that participate in these leagues. So that's another option as well. But if you're just a franchise guy that wants to play with a team and build a team and be a GM and play, just go to maddenunderground.com, click on the league tab, and sign up and get your feet wet, man. That's the only way to do it. Trial by fire.
Yeah, you gotta, sink or swim, I guess. So, I'll be doing one or the other. Snipes. We'll start with you, then we'll go to Philly guy, and well, there goes Snipes a minute. So we'll see if we get Snipes. But Philly guy, we'll start with you here. I know the Jets are your team, but are they your Madden team specifically, or when you do one of these leagues, are you using a specific team, or how does that work, so to speak?
That's a great question. And the answer is yes. I actually play with the Jets. And you guys are asking a lot of the questions that are like near and dear to my heart. You're talking about coverages, you're talking about what players should be able to do, you're talking about just X's and O's, right? And we know what John Madden stood for. So my
Right.
principles has always been, if I'm good enough, then I should be able to win with the Jets. I should be able to put a scheme together. I should be able to win. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And so what you learn the hard way, and it's not even a trial by fire, but what you learn the hard way is, the game is going to cater to a certain style every year. And if it caters to your style, then you may have a good season. But now that MUT is what it is, the game is broken down so much faster on so many different levels, and you really have to have that type of information and knowledge base as a competitor. Because if you don't, you're a CFM guy, you're in a league, you're coming in, you're playing your 2-3 games a week, and you've got somebody that's playing MUT. They know all the abilities, they know all of the route combinations, their break coverages, and you end up being the XP game. And then you're frustrated because you're like, look, I called quarters. Why am I getting beat over the top? My safeties are all the way back. What is going on here?
They never double the
No,
fit.
exactly. So, for me, I love playing with the Jets. And we used to do lottery. Now it's going to be first come, first serve. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens this season. But like I said, it's really about understanding the direction that the game is going in and the tools that you need in order to be successful when you're playing on a competitive level. And so I want to see what happens with them young Jets this year because they got the speed, they've got a lot of youth, they've got money, and I got a couple bets going on with Brian James. So I got to do something this year. I got to do something this year.
And y'all got Jordan Whitehead now too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think he should provide dividends not only in reality but in Madden. He should be providing those big hit sticks, those boom sticks over the middle, to say the least. Whitehead is feared, but yeah, I think you bring up some great points, and Stunna could allude to some of the problems. Sometimes you could draw up the greatest game plan in history, but then you go to play Madden, and it's like up 42-6 or something crazy like that, given the
Well, yeah, let me
algorithm of the
jump in
game.
real quick on that tone. See, what Philly guy was pointing out is the awareness factor. I can't tell you how many times a man I have been cover 3 and get beat with corner routes. And the corner is in the end zone eating grass. What are we taught in football? Don't be out there eating grass. Fine work, right? You got a corner route right in your zone, right in front of you, but you're 20 yards off the ball. And then the run around in the backfield and throw it, deep crossers and stuff is ridiculous. There used to be the scrambling quarterback would cough the ball up, but now they don't even do that. They can just take off running every play, and your D line is looking really ridiculous. But yeah, how do you feel about the awareness? That awareness measurable isn't that just silly, and shouldn't that be done away with?
Well, I want to go back to a point you guys made earlier because I wanted to address it, and of course, when Tone brought up Whitehead, you better believe I'm gonna be putting, that hard hitting safety in the box. He's definitely gonna be playing sub linebacker packages and everything. But to me, the biggest one of the biggest disappointments was after the Bucs won the Super Bowl, and I felt like, hey, I've watched them play many, many times. This is not representative or indicative of what they can actually do on the field. And so when you don't have that ability to play, as the Super Bowl champion, and if they're at the pinnacle of the NFL, then their awareness, their play recognition, everything that got them to being the champs should be above average. That's just how it is. That's how it's supposed to be. So, in the gameplay, it should definitely reflect that. And I have no problem, um, you know, giving teams that win Super Bowls Madden love, if you want to call it that, because they've earned it. They definitely deserve it. So, I think that to the point you guys alluded to earlier about the ratings and not understanding what they do, it's really hard now, with linebackers not really being able to jump. They have the awareness, but just like you said with the corner, they'll just look at the ball and they're like, "Yeah, I can't jump." So you're going to have to play on somebody else to do that. That's not football. It's not football, and football shouldn't be easy. There should be different levels. If you're making a simulation football game, that maybe it does cater to the diehard and some of the more knowledgeable players. But if you're trying to sell MUT cards and if you're trying to make money, then as well as I do, that 9-year-old wants to be able to beat their big brother and their uncle and their dad. And they want to be able to throw that bomb to Devontae Adams, who thankfully is on the Raiders now, and they want to catch the ball with one arm and double coverage, and they want to do the gritty in the end zone. And you know what? You've got a job. You've got responsibilities. Let them have their moment. Let them have their moment, because you're going to send them to bed at 7 o'clock anyway. You know what I mean? And then you're going to watch The Boys on Amazon Prime or something like that. You're going to watch Growing Up TV. You know what I'm saying? Quality time. But it's unfortunate because you're absolutely right. Awareness, it should matter. It doesn't matter at every position. And it's just really frustrating to us too. So I'm with you 100%.
Snipes, who's your Madden squad? Are you rolling with your favorite team, or you rolling the dice with someone else? And what do you think Madden could do better, perhaps, about the squad of your choosing?
Well, I obviously I've talked to Brian, I've talked to Philly about it and everything. And, I'm a Giants fan and I'm a Bills fan. Okay. As much as I would love to play with the Giants, if I want to win, I'm not going to play with the Giants. I'm just not. It's just that simple. I'm not going to play with the Giants. If I have to play with one of my teams, I'm going to play with the Bills first. Without a doubt.
No doubt.
But the Giants, you know what? Like, I can't even sit here and say that they need to fix something, particularly with the Giants. The Giants ain't fixing what they need to fix. Well, it wasn't for a while.
No, I think they fixed it. Got a new GM. That was a big.
Oh yeah, when they got the new GM, they fixed it right there. And the fact that they didn't spend a ton of money in the offseason, that was great. That was a Super Bowl win, in my opinion, for the Giants this year. It's the fact that they didn't spend crazy amounts of money, because to this day, I'm still real tight about the Kenny Galladay money. I'm really tight about that, because it was just it's way too much for somebody when you're not even sure who the quarterback is going to be. You know what I'm saying? You already seen what he went through out in Detroit for all this time, and you bring him to New York dealing with the same type of, as of right now, mediocre quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as Madden is concerned, I don't think they have to fix anything with the Giants. And even with the Bills, what do they really have to fix with the Bills? The Bills are the Bills. They're a good team. You know what I mean? They're a great team. They're going to be great offensively. The only thing I will say is this, though. Madden. Bottom line, speed kills. Okay, and they don't have, and the Bills don't have a tremendous amount of speed on the offensive side at all. They don't. You know, Stephon Diggs, he's got a little bit of speed. McKenzie has a little bit of speed. Matter of fact, I can't even remember if McKenzie is still there or not, though, because I know they was kind of working some things out or whatever. But nonetheless, those those attributes, which is speed, the Bills are like, if I'm not mistaken, when we did the podcast yesterday, I think they're middle of the pack. Am I right, Brian James?
Yeah,
they were like middle of the pack as far as speed, right?
Yeah, with the receivers, yeah, they're definitely in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. So they're like middle of the pack. So, realistically, with those two teams, they have not done a bad job. They have not done a bad job at all. Where my complaints are, and where all of our complaints are, is some of the guys that you just leave out here to dry. You know what I mean? You got a guy in Javonte Williams for the Detroit. You gave him 98 speed. He's coming off an ACL tear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's coming off an ACL. Then on top of that, he didn't run in the combine. You know what I mean? And you're giving this guy 98 speed. Now, I'm not saying he's not fast, but it's like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? As far as the ratings are concerned. The ratings are a big issue. And you know what I'm saying? As team-wise, I think for my teams, they did fine. They did what they were supposed to do. The Giants are supposed to be low rated. The Bills are supposed to be higher up in the higher echelon of teams. They should be there. You know what I mean? But again, in Madden, speed is the killer. If you have nothing but speed, you know what I mean? Those guys are irrelevant. The Bills and the Giants, they're irrelevant. Titans are relevant. Jets are relevant. All those guys are relevant. You got to look at your Miami Dolphins. You know what I mean? They're going to be full of speed. You got to look at I think we was talking yesterday about the Vikings as well too. They're going to be full of speed. Carolina is going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of different teams that a lot of people won't even think about that those are the type of teams in Madden that most people are going to want to play with.
Yeah, it's done. I would agree with that. It's all about speed, it seems. What say you on all that?
Well, speed was the issue I talked about with Jordan Whitehead. He gave me 86 in speed. All right, and speed shouldn't be an issue if I'm a drop deep safety. You're not beating me over the top. That's again where it's not realistic as far as the game. And then Snipes, you nailed it where it's like I'm all right with my team, but then when in comparison, it's like I'm okay if you say that Ndamukong Suh's 83, but when I compare him to these other people that they got it rated above 90, and Ndamukong Suh, even at the age of 35, they're here balling. You're like, oh heck no, man. So that's the issue right there. When you look at it in comparison.
Yeah.
But the ratings is an issue because it's too subjective and they're not forthwith with how they come up with it. It should be a 98 is this 40 combined with this, and positioning should be an issue. But the question I really had for y'all is the yard. Okay, I don't like it. I don't play it. It's a waste to me. I said all along they should have had 7-on-7 football. High school 7-on-7 football is very popular. Okay. You look at what Cam Newton did he had his own league. They went down to IMG down here in Florida where we're at. It's a big deal in high school football. And they missed a great opportunity to have 7-on-7.
Mm-hmm.
Let me cram on 7-on-7 team.
Yep.
Other than doing the yard, which nobody plays and nobody wants to do flag football at the NFL level. It's all about,
yeah,
they'll get the contact game at that point.
Yeah.
So I want to hear you guys' comments on the yard. Is thumb up, thumb down, basically, and what they should have done or what they just scrap it all together.
I'm not gonna say I love the yard. I don't love it. It's fun if you get into it, but I think they just missed. They didn't hit it. They missed the mark on it though. It was an opportunity. I thought it was going to be something closer to you being able to create a my player, team up with some of your friends in a 7-on-7 type of environment and play collectively against other collective groups of players, at that capacity. But that's not what it is.
Yes, if you would have had 7 actual on 7 and you had 7
Oh,
different
man.
players on
That would have been
7,
fun.
been live.
That would have been live. That would have been live. And then on top of that, they didn't do anything with the mode to incentivize it. Like, okay, with that, now what you can do is, say for instance, they did it the way we're talking about. They make it 7-on-7s. Now you can cater to actual high schools. You can have a high school with an actual esports team. They create their my players, develop them, and they can go compete against other high schools in that capacity. You get what I'm saying? And then now you not only are you catering to the demographic of the sports fans, now you have a entirely new demographic playing the game in a different way that this has ever been played before.
Brand new revenue. You can host your own tournaments.
Exactly.
Tournament for 7-on-7.
Exactly. Same. They could have gone that same route, and promoted it on the 7-on-7 circuit. You get what I'm saying? So like that's something that, because 7-on-7 is big out here in California too. It's California, Florida. You know the deal.
California, Florida, Texas.
California, Florida, Texas. You already know. So
you'll be from one of the 3.
Yeah, so like that was an element that I feel like they completely missed the mark on. When I saw the idea of the yard, that's actually what I thought it was going to be. And then when they released the details in which it was, then it was kind of disappointing. Like, oh dang, they missed the mark, man.
Yeah, I guess I got one for you guys. Do you think that Madden will ever be full? Like, could you do leagues with other systems eventually? You think? I heard rumors it was maybe.
Crossplay?
Yeah, could you do crossplay eventually? I heard it was maybe going to happen this year, but I heard they pulled the plug on that.
Yeah, that's something that's something that we've been
hits our spirit. It really does.
It hurts bad that they didn't do it, because it eliminates a problem. Like, you don't ever have to worry about you don't have to worry about running out of players or trying to find players to play with, because there's always somebody looking to play on both systems. So if there's nobody to play with on Xbox, you can find somebody on PS5 or PlayStation to play with, whichever you prefer, and vice versa. But I thought this year would have been a great year for it to be crossplay, given the fact that they actually did something similar to that with the game of FIFA, and all Apex Legends is another game that's crossplay. I think even the knockout KO or Rocket
Knockout
KO,
City.
Knockout City is crossplay.
All
so
EA games.
All EA, and they're all EA titles.
Wow.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't understand why the hold up or what the hang up is in regards to making Madden crossplay. I thought this would have been the year, but unfortunately it wasn't. So if it wasn't this year, I don't know when they're going to do it.
Yeah, and I feel like crossplay would just generate a lot of buzz for the game in general. I mean, then it doesn't matter what your friend has. You don't have to worry if they got a PS or an Xbox. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know what y'all play. Well, what do y'all play? What do you prefer, I guess? Brian, we'll start with you, then we'll go around.
I have both consoles. I have the Xbox and the PS5.
What are we preferring?
I prefer this year. I prefer PS5. So the beta plays smoother on PS5 in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with PS5.
Snipes, what are you playing with?
This year, I would say PS5 this year. Yeah, this year PS5 for sure. It definitely plays, especially with the new play mechanics, the new throwing mechanics that they have in there. It plays a lot smoother on PS5. That's just a beta though, so we'll know when the final product comes out. We may change our minds, but I have both consoles as well. I have the PS5 and the Xbox as well.
Wow, so 2 for 2. And when does Madden come out again?
August 19th.
August 19th. Wow, 1 month from today.
Yep.
Man, that it always comes quick. I remember when I was a kid, I don't know how the hell I did this, but I used to wait until Christmas time, and then, I'd get the game around then, and it was like, epic. But nowadays it's like, I'm thinking to myself, it's like, how the hell did I wait until Christmas to play that outdated? Because by that time it's like, the game's already, and, growing up, besides our, run of, the late 90s to 02, and then after that, it was pretty brutal. So you had a lot of bad Bucks teams in between and sandwiched around. So by the time I got the game on Christmas, it's like, all right, Who can I fire up today? But Philly guy, are you going 3 for 3 and preferring PS5 at least at this point in time?
Sadly, no. I still believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Any magical being, the Great Pumpkin, you name it, that's going to help me in these challenging times to be able to, have two consoles. Because I mean, look, the Xbox for me, that's the latest. That's what I got. I got the X and I got an S. I just don't have the time to be able to play the games as much as I want. And there's really no game outside of Madden, that isn't crossplay. So I haven't found a need yet. Okay. But if there's a game, and Brian and Snipes, they know this game because I'm old school Armor Core Mech Head supposed to be coming out. Now, if that comes out and it's only on PlayStation, then I will have that PlayStation. Okay, and I will not wait for Santa Claus. I will not wait for the Easter Bunny or the Great Pumpkin. I will go out and I will get it the minute that they confirm, what system that it's going to be on. So just put me in a TBD. Just put me in the TBD slot for right now.
Yeah, we'll call it 2-0-1 for now, and we'll dictate the future based on what games get released or whatnot.
Yeah.
Stunna, how about you, my friend? What are you rocking with? I forget what you have exactly, so I'm interested to hear what your opinion is.
I got an Xbox. I haven't been able to find a PS5, so I'll definitely, if I could ever find one and got my money up, I'll definitely look into that.
Definitely, yeah.
I don't know about the S series, all that. I don't know about that stuff.
Y'all are more equipped than I am. I have a pretty outdated console, so I got to look into perhaps just updating in general. And I did think I'm thinking about heavily getting involved in Madden again. Back in the day, I used to come home and just play Madden game after Madden game after Madden game. I remember in college putting the big bucks on the line playing some Madden games. So that was a lot of fun stuff. Then we eventually, little degenerate, got to the point of simulating Madden games and watching him and putting money
Playing
on
money
it.
on the line.
Yeah. We don't know
been
what
there,
the hell
man.
could happen. So now we got Snipes to announce for that if that ever is the case. So we'll hire Snipes to do some announcing for our simulated
I tell you
Madden
what,
bets.
the best thing was the Checkdown did the simulated tournament. I don't know if y'all remember. And then Chris Godwin had to go for the championship. It was back in the day.
Yeah. I remember that.
Crazy.
Do they still do what was that TV show ESPN used to have with Madden on it?
Madden Nation.
Yeah.
Yup. Is that still a thing, or do they?
Nah, it's just all MCS style tournaments now, Madden Championship Series style tournaments that they broadcast like on Twitch and YouTube and all that. And then when the championships, when the bowls come about, that's when they put those on ESPN.
That's cool still, man. I guess it's a sign of times anyways, right? But I did love back in the days seeing the athletes, you pick the athlete, you meet up with them, you talk about repping your team, and you kind of hang with them for the day. And then, it kind of makes winning or losing that much more significant in a setting like that when you have that bond with the athlete, I feel like. But real quick here, not really sure how hated or unhated this guy is amongst Madden Twitter. Madden Leaks, what the hell's the deal with this guy? We had him on our pod. He was a straight shooter. He seems to leak info, but EA Sports is always going back and forth with him over his info not being right. Is it right? And then, are they adjusting the ratings? Because Madden Leaks, he does have a big following and whatnot. So I just want to get your guys' opinion. Does Madden Leaks have any truth to him, or does EA Sports hold the trump card in terms of, holding the secrecy, holding the privacy until they release the information themselves? Brian James, I guess we'll start with you.
Me personally, I love the Twitter account. It just reminds me of V for Vendetta. Remember the month of November. So when he first came out, I was like, yo, this account is, I don't know who it is, who's behind it, but it's awesome. I love the fact that this guy he's going against the machine. He probably made them change about 7 or 8 Madden ratings. So I don't know if they were true, but I know that there were ratings being altered all throughout the process of normally when they have them already rolling out. They did something different. I know he was getting into arguments with developers. He was getting into arguments with all type of guys. EA would send them cease and desist emails and things like that. And I loved it. I don't know how legit and accurate anything he posted was, but the entertainment of the fact that he was able to ruffle the feathers of EA and get them to actually do something about the game in any capacity. I loved it. And it was, if he was willing to sacrifice himself and his pockets for whatever cause he was operating under, I loved it.
Yeah,
He's definitely the Twitter version of Ryan Moody.
I wouldn't say that because Ryan Moody just bashes the game, but
he's not bashing the game though. Yeah,
he's not bashing the game. He was just leaking information.
Both use exposure though.
Yeah. And I'm noticing a lot of other people. A lot of other people are creating leak accounts for different games now, following that trend. And I don't know if that's, but it was a great idea. It worked for him. He got a lot of followers quick, and kudos to him, whoever he is. I didn't get to meet the guy. I don't know who he is, and I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't make my identity public.
No,
but you guys had the opportunity to meet him, and you guys didn't leak his. I don't think you guys leaked his identity, did you?
No, we did not leak his info.
Okay.
We did the opposite of what he does. You know what I'm saying? We kept his info on the back burner. But yeah, he was a hoot to have on. I did see him run into. He did post a pic of himself and Justin Tucker not too long ago, I believe. I'm not sure if that got deleted or whatnot, but just kind of one of those Twitter accounts that's polarizing to say the least.
Definitely.
For better or for worse in the Madden community. Stunna, what say you? Before we get Philly Guy's opinion on the whole Madden leaks thing and whatnot.
Well, I'm all for it because, like I said, if you put a mirror up and you expose the fact that, like we all know in the community, there's no accountability to the ratings. And then when he started leaking it, Darius Slay got involved, and that was like pie in their face because now it's like you've been exposed that you got people coming off of injury. You got people coming off of going on to suspension like D-Hop, and you still have them rated near the top 10, and there's really no rhyme or reason for it. So it's something that is infuriating to the gamers because we want accountability. We want it to be the old saying: if it's in the game, it's in the game, and that's what it should be, and it's not because you got people that are catering to favoritism or something like that, where the measurables should be out there for everyone to know.
Yeah, Philly Guy, you got anything to add on before we move on quick? Man, we're already at 55 minutes. I promise I'm not holding you guys up too much longer, man, but that's what happens on the Buccateers, man. We set a time, and next thing you know, it's like
we're 60 minutes. It's 60 minutes part, with not CBA.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm gonna make it short and sweet because I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, man, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the Tony Dungy, John Gruden Buccaneers. Like, I got real questions to ask these guys, and I do want to apologize on behalf of Madden Underground. I know we should have mentioned Mr. Howard going to the Buffalo Bills and some of that speed it tied in, but I will say this, Stunner, when you talk about accountability, I think that V for Vendetta is a great movie. I absolutely love it. I did think of Anonymous, like Brian said. I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about consumers, and we're talking about NFL players that are invested in good representation and in the legacy of John Madden and what he wanted this game to be. So if you get to the point of anything in life and you're not able to look in the mirror and you don't have that humility, then yeah, by all means, I support people that have the platform to remind you of what this item or ideology is, that it's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the people, it belongs to the community. And so you need to listen to those voices. You need to understand that this is something that'll continue on without you. And if that NFL license ever, comes up and goes in a different direction, there may be some people that are hungry, that are waiting for the opportunity, that'll produce a quality game. So, yeah, I definitely think accountability, responsibility, anonymity. I mean, all of these big words that I would love to spell in the third grade and win a spelling bee for. I definitely think that they come into play 100%.
I would
Yeah.
love to see a young software person come out and just grab on the USFL or XFL and show them what simulation football should.
That would be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
it don't matter what the teams are if the gameplay. Everyone says the gameplay, right? That's the problem with the Madden community. Well, there's two more professional football, not Canadian stuff. That's not real football, but real football organizations that you could jump onto. But Philly, I'm your guy, man. I've been a season ticket holder for years with the Bucks. You know, we're Buccaneers, we're Buccateers, we're super Bucks fans. You know, we go to road games, we do it all, man. So hit us up, man. Ask us any question you want to know about Buccaneer lore or what it's like to be a Bucks fan. Let's hear it.
Okay. All right.
Ooh-wee.
I got this one in the holster. I got to fire it off, B.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, those of us that aren't Bucks fans
Mhm.
firmly believe that John Gruden won the Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's team.
Okay.
And
I disagree, but keep going.
and I felt some kind of way that as a coach he wasn't allowed to continue that uphill battle with these men to get to the mountaintop, because I feel very strongly that in sports that's necessary, right? That you have to you got to stay together, you got to get better together, you got to add pieces,
The
and
continuity,
then you get to the mountaintop and you accomplish the goal, and it's a great thing. I don't feel like he got an opportunity to do that. I don't know what he did to lose that opportunity, considering how epic that game against the Rams was. I just don't understand it. So I was hoping maybe you guys could explain that to me.
I'll explain it. So basically, the rift started when Shula's son got fired at the Pro Bowl. Okay, 1999, we lost to the Rams. They went to the Pro Bowl. They hired Shula's son. Okay, or they fired Shula's. I forget his first name, but his name was something Shula. Mike Shula, I think it was. So they fired him. So we got Les Stickle the next season, 2000. 2000, we had a pretty good offense. The problem with Tony Dungy was the offense sucked. We would win games like 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at a Bears game one time, and it was so hot you sweat through all your clothes. It was so hot, man. But we would win games 6-3. I mean, we would lose some of these games if we had a fumble here or a special teams breakdown here. Jets, I believe the flashlight game, we lost that. I mean, if you remember. And then also Keyshawn Johnson, we did go get players for Tony. Okay. The problem was we had Les Steckel and the offense was good in 2000, and we lost to Philly in the playoffs, and they fired Les Steckel. All right, Clyde Christensen came in, and the next year we also lost to Philly. So Tony Dungy couldn't get past Philly. That's basically why he got fired, because he couldn't get the Eagles. But we went backwards. Our offense went backwards with Clyde Christensen, who, if you don't know, is on our staff now. So Clyde Christensen and he's came in with Bruce Arians and won a Super Bowl with us. So Clyde Christensen is still a good coach. You know what I mean? It's not Tony Dungy's fault. And I think Clyde Christensen went with him to Indy and won the Super Bowl with him there as well. Tony Dungy was way better in Indy. We'll talk about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because he had Tom Moore and the boys. That's why he didn't have to worry about offense. See, just come and run the Tampa 2 and you're going to win, which he did. He actually took Booger McFarland from us here to play the Warren Sapp role up there when they won the Super Bowl, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so we couldn't get over Philly. We had Loudmouth Keyshawn, which ended up basically getting Gruden fired too. So he was a coach killer. No, look it up, man. Look it up. I'm not even playing. He got his boy fired too in Dallas. So they wanted Bill Parcells. So they fired him for Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells left us at the altar again. And we had actually fired we were going to hire Marvin Lewis. That was the pick, Marvin Lewis. But the Glazers like, oh hell no, we don't get no Marvin Lewis. We want a big name coach. So that's when they went and got John Gruden. Now here's where it's John Gruden's team, because the offense was completely different under Gruden.
Definitely.
All right. That offseason, we got Roman Oben, left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We actually went backwards, got Pittman, but Dunn was better.
Mm-hmm.
So Dunn was better, but we got Pittman. I think we got Ken Dilder. I know we got Jaravickas. I know we got Keenan McCardle. Okay, this is like a whole new offense. You see what I'm saying? The only one we really kept was Keyshawn. So when we had Dungy, we were drafting bums like Jack Green, no offense to Quezzy, or Rito Anthony, but we were blowing these draft picks on these receivers. The minute we get Gruden, we go out and get two legit receivers. We got Ricky Dudley, Ohio State fans.
Yes.
Keenan McCardell came here.
Yeah, Keenan McCardle. I just mentioned him. Yeah, so this is a whole new offense. In fact, that offense, we ran a West Coast offense. And, back in the day with Joe Montana, the West Coast was great because they used the fullback, Rathman, in the flats. He was always open. Well, the new West Coast, with Mariucci took over, was three receivers. So it was all about getting that third receiver to run those fullback routes. Okay, there's going to be wide open, flats, drags, stuff like that. And we had Joe Jaravickas, if you remember the Philly game, he ran the drag and busted that bit 71 yards.
JJ.
Okay, so that was the difference. That's why it was Gruden's team. Now this last offseason, we got Monty Kiffin was put in the Ring of Honor. Okay, Monty Kiffin was the defense coordinator for both Dungy and Gruden. So that is why they were able to let Gruden come in and win the Super Bowl, because with Monty Kiffin, you basically didn't lose nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's basically Dungy in the building. Him and Dungy put the Tampa together. Okay. The Tampa 2, if y'all don't know, is a cover 2 and a cover 3 hybrid.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically your middle safety is the Mike. He drops all the way to the middle safety.
Yep.
This is, you better be a good middle Mike linebacker to do that. All right. That's the difference. So usually cover 2 is 5 under 2 deep. You know what I mean? So it's like Tampa 2 is like still 3 deep, but you're still 5 under. It's kind of a hybrid defense. So Monty Kiffin was still there to run the Tampa 2, so we were good.
Okay.
So that's why it is Gruden's team. That's what Dungy did to get fired. What Dungy did is he took us from the creamsicle to the championships. Okay. Tony Dungy was always in the playoffs, except for 98. We went 8-8, because 97 we finally got in the playoffs. Other than that, we're always in the playoffs. We weren't always in the playoffs with Gruden. We had some terrible seasons with Gruden, 5-11, 4-12, stuff like that. We never had that with Dungy. His first year was 6-10, but we went like 5 in a row at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that was 1996. So what Dungy did, Dungy's in the Ring of Honor, Kiffin's in the Ring of Honor. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But what Dungy did is he made the creamsicle franchise legitimate. But he won in Indy, you remember, because he went up there. He had Tom Moore. He was putting out 14-2 seasons. He ain't going 14-2 with the Bucks. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Yes.
So it was actually, and he was, Dungy was a faith man. He said, "This is God's will for me to leave." He went up to Indy and had nothing but success and got his championship.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Gruden won the championship here, never won another playoff game. But go ahead.
Now, Stunner, so my other question is this: is it true? And maybe I'm not remembering this correctly. But at some point, didn't Tampa honor Tony and make him a part of the Super Bowl win that John Gruden and Monty Kiffin were able to get for you guys? At some point, did they acknowledge what Tony
They
had
wanted to
done?
send him a ring, but I don't think they really needed to, because in 2003 he came down here and stomped us on Monday Night Football in the greatest comeback game. He was smiling ear to ear after that game, and I was there, and then I had to go to work the next day. I got home like 2:00 in the morning because it was in the double overtime. I don't know if you remember that, but
we remember.
Yeah, so Dungy wasn't worried about us.
Yeah.
He had so much success in Indy. And he would have not got the opportunity in Indy if he was not a previous head coach, right? Because they hired Tom Mora, who was a previous head coach with the Colts. So they were, Saints, right? Jim Moore with the Saints, right? Went to Indy. So that was their pedigree. They wanted a previous head coach.
Yep.
Tony Dungy got his job with the Buccaneers, a first head coaching job. Now, if you remember that, they wanted Parcells, they wanted Jimmy Johnson, and they took Tony Dungy third. Here, Gruden, they wanted Parcells. GM picked Marvin Lewis. Then they took Gruden and had to trade away, our future. 2 first, 2 second, and 10 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
a lot of picks and a lot of money it was for John Gruden. And
the thing is, I'll say this: Tony Dungy was better off, and the Bucks were better off because we would have obviously lost our Super Bowl window.
Mm-hmm.
We won the Super Bowl because we finally had an offense to go with that defense. What happened in the very next year? The Panthers came and crippled us and went to the Super Bowl themselves. So obviously we would have missed our window. Had they not did that, we couldn't get over Philly.
Yeah.
And Gruden got us over Philly. He did his job. He did. All them draft picks, everything. It was worth it because we finally got over Philly in the playoffs.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that it's pretty interesting in technicality. The Bucks traded for both of their Super Bowl head coaches, as we did trade for Bruce Arians as well. But however you slice the cake, you got Gruden, Dungy, BA, and those are without a doubt the top 3 coaches here. And you do hear fans. Some do say it was Dungy's team. Some say it was Gruden team. But I will tell you what. I agree with Stunna in the fact that I think it was a rare win-win situation where Dungy was better off moving on.
It was drafted. It was drafted Gruden's team because all the players we have from the draft were Dungy's, but the free agents that we threw in there to get over the top was because of Gruden.
Right, and that's forever the ultimate debate. And look at Dungy went on win the Super Bowl with Indianapolis, and Peyton Manning was kind of how the Bucks were with Dungy. He couldn't get over the hump, and then Dungy goes there, and Tom Moore's there, and some other guys. So Dungy ends up winning the Super Bowl. Bucks end up winning the Super Bowl. Would it have happened together? I don't think so. But Dungy ultimately ends up getting his goal, and the Bucks ultimately end up getting their goal. So, and as Stunna mentioned, Warren Sapp and Keyshawn, they hated each other. So you had that to deal with. It was just
Keyshawn blew up the locker room the very next year. If you remember, he got suspended and got sent home the rest of the season in 2003. We went 7-9 coming off the Super Bowl. Gruden had 2 more winning seasons in his tenure with the Bucks. So basically, you have a Super Bowl roster collapsed. We said John Lynch become a Ring of Honor member with the Denver Broncos because we cut him. All right, Gruden is a terrible GM. He was just a play caller, and the defense knew it. But it was good enough to we finally had an offense. We would lose team. We lost the NFC Championship 11-6.
I hated that Buccaneers team that year, man. Too, man. That team was everybody was using the Bucks that year. Remember?
Everybody was using them.
I was like, my God, I'm tired of the
Buccaneers. 02?
Yeah, like everybody used the Bucks that year.
Yeah, they were the meta that year for sure.
Yeah, they were.
I remember another hot one when Michael Vick came in, and everyone was Atlanta, right, with Michael Vick.
Oh,
man.
Yeah. He was the hardest player to stop.
Yeah, I remember the game.
Probably all time.
Yeah, no doubt. Michael Vick was definitely the hardest Madden player in his prime. When he was on that cover of Madden, oh man, he was unstoppable. And I remember in NFL 2K5, I think it was with Terrell Owens on the cover.
Oh,
Yep.
He was crazy in that game.
Yeah.
He was even better in that game than he was in Madden. So, there's just some polarizing figures. We'll do one last go around here before we get closing statements. I'll ask a question, then Stunna will ask a question, then we'll open it to the floor to you guys and close out here. I just want to know, we're talking Madden history. What do you guys think personally favorite Madden cover of all time and why? I want to hear Snipes first. Snipes, what's your favorite Madden cover, my friend? And or Madden, I guess. Madden cover, Madden. What's your favorite one that's been out there?
Favorite Madden cover, I gotta go with OBJ. OBJ, if I'm not mistaken, that was Madden 16.
Yeah, that sounds right.
16, I think it was. Yeah. But my favorite Madden, I would have to say, you know what? I might have to say 2009. 2009 was my favorite Madden. 2009 was my favorite Madden. What I think that's the one with Brett Favre on the cover.
Yes, yes, I was gonna say, and any specific reason, or you just hold good memory with it?
I mean, just I ain't gonna lie. That was the last year I was really good. That was the last year I was really good because I've been downhill ever since.
Hey, this might be a year. So I think it's gonna be a year. I think
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Time for revival. We got Snipes
Yeah.
on the circle back in 22.
There
That's
you go.
awesome though, man. So
There you go.
09 and OBJ we're going with. I
Yeah,
like both of
indeed.
those picks right there,
Yeah.
man. You can't go wrong. Brian James, you rolling with the same ones, or you going somewhere else?
I'm going with the 2001 cover, Eddie George on the cover.
Yep.
That was definitely my favorite cover of all time. I actually got that. I actually have a poster of that here at my house. Also, but my favorite version of Madden to play was 2002 with Dante Culpepper. Dante Culpepper was actually on that cover, but that was my favorite one.
For Florida.
Yeah, that was my favorite cover. Not my favorite cover. My favorite version of Madden of all time was the 2002 version.
Hey, well, we'll take it. Good year for us, so we'll take that. Any specific reason, or just because good memories and whatnot?
No, that was the year I was able I was old enough to compete in national tournaments and things like that, and actually made it to the Elite Eight.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think I was only 14 or 15 at the time. So made it to the final 8 or Elite 8 and in a national tournament, and that was the year I did it. So that one's gonna be near and dear to me for a long time.
Hell yeah, love to hear that. Well, pretty damn cool you made it that far in a tournament, man. I think the best I ever did. I was ranked pretty good one day online, but I couldn't take the glitching and shit anymore, man. And I was fed up with that. People started timing out, and it's like, come on now, you're down by 20, no need for that. But Philly guy, what year are you rolling with? What cover are you rolling with? I got some in mind already. I'm looking through these right now. What are you rolling with?
Well, I'm a little upset that Brian kind of took my thunder, man. I was getting ready to pull the heartstrings on this one, because it was definitely 2002, the Dante Culpepper one. That was that was a huge year. That was the year that I actually moved from Philly to the West Coast, and so it was definitely the version of Madden that I was absolutely the best at. So when Brian and I met, it was actually during that game, and he's right. He was 14 years old. Those are stories for another day, because I got some stories for y'all. But yeah, it was something about the country coming together and the growth of the MWS at that time, and just the competitive nature of what was happening. Like I said, it wasn't just because I was very, very, very good at that game. It was just the magic of it all, man. So that cover stands out to me. That game stands out to me. But it's so hard to pick a favorite cover because I always feel like there's controversy behind it. Like I very rarely agree with the cover athlete that's on there, right? And so there's been times when my Jets went that AFC Championship game, 2 years in a row, and I'm just like, hey, where we at? You know what I'm saying? Nobody expected us to be here. Can I get a can't wait Bart Scott moment? And we never had that. So, I don't want to betray my team by picking the cover where, they weren't even on there. But, I'm going to go with the 2002 gameplay for all the sentimental reasons. And yeah, it was just a great time, great era.
Yeah, I like that. Bart Scott, can't wait would have been perfect. They could have hyped that into a hype up video in Madden or something. They used to have the awesome intro videos. I remember the one with Brian Dawkins leading the charge back in the day and whatnot. Some memories there. I guess my favorite Madden, and not by the cover by any means, because he's probably sadly the least deserving Madden cover of all time, although he had a historic year the year before. I'm going with 2012 Madden is my favorite just because I'm being selfish. I was the best. That's the year I was the best at Madden. So I'm being like that. I'm saying that was my favorite. That's the one with Peyton Hillis on the cover.
Okay.
Hillis, yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
He ended up bouncing around a little bit. Actually signed with the Bucks for a little bit. Never made a name for himself, and now he just never was able to recover. I know the year after Cleveland, after he exploded that year, he just kept getting banged up. He was never really healthy, and then it seemed like honestly he was just 1 year wonder, as sad as it
Yep.
sounds or whatnot. But happens sometimes. And I guess my favorite cover, I would probably say, I'm not going to be biased and pick the Brady Bucks one because Mahomes is on it anyway. So, that kind of kills it there a little bit. But no, I honestly loved. Man, I'm looking through these. I'm a big fan of the Ray Lewis cover. So,
Yeah.
just Ray Lewis in general was one of my guys back in the day. So I remember that Madden vividly in '05, I want to say it was. And, you know, that was just a fun time for Madden. And I feel like Madden was still the cream of the crop back then. So, Stunna, what say you? And then you could ask, these guys one more question. Snipes, Philly guy, and Brian James before we close shop.
Perfect. Yeah, I hit the round table. I will be biased to say it was last year's with Brady. Still right here at Sherwood Day School. All right, you know what I mean? I know right where they filmed the whole shootout, plus Mahomes looked like he been hitting that Tampa, pine. So, yeah, I definitely got to go with that one now. Dude, come on now. So we're going to go around the table. I'm going to start with Philly Guy. Tell us, give us your impersonation of Todd Bowles as a head football coach.
Oh, you want me to go into character? You want to get like
Whatever you got
an
for us.
impression?
Todd Bowles is our coach this year with the Bucks, and
Mhm.
we have Super Bowl aspirations, and
Mhm.
we definitely believe he's the man to take us there. I was a big proponent when he got fired by the Jets. I wanted him. So maybe someone that's been exposed to what he's about, maybe you can either tell me I'm in the sound mind, or maybe convince me that I'm maybe being foolhardy. But I just want to see your impersonation of him. I thought he always ran a good show with the Jets, but he was like Tony Dungy, where they didn't really have an offense.
Yeah, and son, I love hearing you break everything down, and we're definitely like minded in that sense. So that's exactly what my concern is. My concern is not on the defensive end. My concern is on the offensive end. We know that Howard went to the Bills. I think Gronk is key to come back. I looked at the draft picks that you guys have. You still have a veteran team, but I really feel that you're going to have to manage those minutes. You're going to have to spice it up a little bit. Obviously, you have the great Tom Brady, but I really feel like however you guys do on offense is really going to be what you should expect. So if he's trying to be conservative and run the rock, talking about, I'm trying to protect Tom, then I think you guys, will definitely make the playoffs. But I don't think that you guys will be in contention. Now, if I see some of these, youthful concepts that you end up seeing in the Super Bowl, for example, they don't want to call them trick plays or gadget plays, but look, these are plays, right? These are plays. I think, that offense has to be opened up. When Tom was doing his 5 wide shotgun sets in New England prior to Randy Moss joining the team, I believe they were 14-2. So I think that you need to talk to Tom. You need to talk to the offensive weapons, and you need to say, "Hey guys, what are we doing? What do you want to do to go get this damn ring?" Because I think that they deserve it, and I think that you need to have everybody on the same page. So I feel like if the offense is creative, if it's unique, and it's different with a lot of core elements that you guys are known for right now, which is smash mouth football, then I think you guys will be successful. But yeah, Todd. Offense is not his strength. So, your defense is going to be fine, even though, Whitehead is in New York. And even though, your defensive line is not respected in Madden, you guys still have tremendous speed at linebacker. You guys are very well coached and sound. But it's the offense that concerns me, and I really feel like that's going to decide what y'all fate will be in the playoffs. But you're going to the playoffs.
I think that the offense will look a lot like what Tom did in New England with the I formation and, the play, run the ball, predominantly 60-70% of the game. I think that Todd Bowles, defensive-minded coaches want to play ball control anyway. So I do see that happening, but we do have the ability to open it up 5 wides on any second, especially with our wide receiver room, which is, very deep. Won't be deep on Madden, but I feel it is.
Mike Evans, I think Mike Evans is the hardest receiver to cover in Madden right now. And if you played the 23 beta, he was the hardest receiver to cover on Madden 23.
Because when I play on this one, he drops everything. So
he didn't drop everything in the beta.
Not in the beta. That was a monster.
Yeah.
Okay, so Snaps, I'm gonna start with you.
Okay.
The Giants played Super Bowl 25 right here in Tampa, Florida. Okay, and I don't know if you remember that, but a lot of people here, I think the Bills were the home team, but I think we were all so happy that they beat the 49ers in the playoffs that we were just all jumping on that Giants bandwagon. And I want to know, it was a very emotional game. Whitney Houston sung the national anthem. We were going back to war. There was rumors that there was going to be a chemical attack at the stadium. Okay.
Yep.
The people there were basically brave. They didn't know if they were going to be under a terrorist attack or not, because that was the rumor going around that week. So I want to know your favorite Super Bowl 25 moment and, what that game did, as far as changing the landscape of football, as far as, being that the fans really had to embrace, patriotism and us going to war and overseas.
You know what? It was that Super Bowl was probably the hardest Super Bowl for me to watch for obvious reasons. I'm first a Giants fan. I'm second a Bills fan.
Oh wow!
I love the Bills. I'm gonna tell you exactly why, and these guys already know too. I love the Bills because Thurman Thomas was my favorite NFL player of all time. I loved Thurman Thomas. Loved him. I loved everything about his game. Everybody, even as a Giants fan, would ask me, how are you not how is LT not your favorite player of all time? He's not. Thurman Thomas is my guy. Okay. Love him to death. You know what I mean? And that Super Bowl, first of all, as far as a game wise, my favorite play of the game, I would just obviously have to say the wide, the wide right. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it's as simple as that, because I still would have been okay if the Bills won the game. You know what I mean? I would have been okay. He kicked that field goal, boom, they win the game. I would have been okay because it was the Bills. But obviously the Giants win. So, and after that game, I cried. I cried for 2 reasons. Because we won a bowl, number one, and number 2, because the Bills lost. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I felt terrible for Thurman Thomas. I felt terrible for him. You know what I mean? I felt so bad for him because they were right there. You know what I mean? And they played great. I mean, 5 years straight, just playing great football. You know what I mean? And then they get to the promised land and they just can't bring it home. They just can't bring it home.
I will say this about Super Bowl 25. That was the the Giants Super Bowl wheel fell off after that. That was their last chance.
Yeah.
LT, I don't think he had another season like that.
No.
They were already old with Pepper Johnson and the linebacking core they had. They were Hostetler was a backup quarterback who got into them to the Super Bowl, and he was old as it was. So they were really at the end.
That was a story, though. That was definitely a story with Jeff Hostetler.
It was
a story.
The fact that they beat the 49ers was really, it's kind of like us when we won the Super Bowl, we had to get over Philly.
Yeah.
So when we beat Philly, it didn't matter what happened in the Super Bowl. We got over the hump. And it's the same thing. happened to us here recently with Brady.
Right.
When we beat the Saints in the
The
playoffs,
Saints,
it didn't matter. Green Bay didn't matter.
Yep.
The Chiefs didn't matter.
And
we beat the Saints in the playoffs, retired Drew Brees. That was a wrap.
And you know what? And you know what's so crazy that you bring that up? Because that same Super Bowl, that same exact Super Bowl that we're discussing, Super Bowl 25, when we beat San Fran, to me, that was the Super Bowl. That was the Super Bowl right there. We just beat the great San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we beat them by pummeling them on defense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of teams did that in the regular season.
And the Super Bowl one with Otis Anderson too, pummeling them with that running game.
So you know, that to me, that was our Super Bowl. But again, obviously, you know, winning a Super Bowl was huge that year. But again, I think that 49ers game in that NFC Championship, that game right there, that was our Super Bowl. That was I lost my throat that day. I thought
you were about to say something else.
No.
It did happen around the same time, though, didn't
it? All right, and we're gonna wrap up with Brian. This offseason, Old Miss wide receiver got traded from the Titans to Philly. Okay. Mr. Brown. I don't know his first name right off rip.
Doesn't matter what his first name is.
It don't matter. So how do you feel about the former Buccaneer front office personnel who is running the GM for the Titans? Do you feel like this trade is going to help Philly, and do you feel like this trade is going to hurt the Titans offense?
I think if Philadelphia has any form of solid quarterback play, they'll go to the Super Bowl. If they can get past, if they can get past the Buccaneers, I forgot I was in a room full of Buccaneer fans.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
We played them in the playoffs last year. They were impressive. I agree with that. Their front defensive tackles, and then they got the kid from Georgia.
Yeah,
so I do agree with you. Their defensive front is stout.
Yeah, so I think if they can get any form of solid quarterback play with the roster that they have right now, with the front seven and the depth that they have on the defensive side of the ball, as well as in the receiver room, I think the Eagles, they could be a problem. So definitely that was a big pickup for the Eagles. In regards to the GM situation and the move, it had to be done because we wasn't going to lose him anyway. It's better to get something than nothing for him. But I just thought the timing of it was awful. You know, we had him and we was like, okay, the receiving room is okay. We still have Brown, but you lose Brown, then you go out and you trade for Woods, and Woods is a great receiver. Don't get me wrong, but he's coming off of ACLs, and I know you got him for a cheap deal and all that stuff, but we don't have any receivers in our receiver room right now.
We could have got Michael Robinson for free.
We could have. We don't have Will Fuller's still out there. You know, Will Fuller's still out there. Go back and get Julio. Maybe he's better. You know what I mean? But I'm like, it's just now. It's nothing out there for us now. You know, we don't have anybody in the receiver room right now that's proven they can play at a high level outside of Robert Woods, but he's, like I said, he's coming back from injury. We acquired Austin Hooper. I'm okay with that. You know, I figured that'll help in the run game and setting up the play action pass. That'll help a little bit, but yeah, I don't like it. We lost a lot of pieces last year because of our cap situation and keeping the amount of money we're paying Tannehill, the amount of money we're paying Bud Dupree, the amount of money we're paying a lot of other players that aren't living up to that standard, because Bud Dupree hasn't really even been on the field, but next year he'll be making $22 million. So, you know, that's a lot of money for a guy that hasn't touched, that's not given any type of consistency on the field, you know. But you know, hopefully it works out for the best. But I'm not expecting very much out of the Titans this year.
So the Derrick Henry's contract situation, it seems like they just franchise him every year. Will they ever give the Yulee, Florida great a chance to get a long-term contract to retire a Titan, or are they just going to keep doing him like Le'Veon Bell?
I think they're just gonna. I thought they gave him a pretty decent contract. I think he has 2 more years left on the contract that he has. It wasn't the contract that I was expecting him to get. I thought he was going to get the Tannehill contract, given the fact that he's carrying the team and Tannehill's just kind of game managing. But they gave Tannehill the contract, so I guess when Tannehill contract expires, they'll probably renew him and give him a contract that's befitting for a king.
Exactly. How about Malik Willis? Do you feel like he is a chance, or is he just a late round pick, and you really need to get a top 10 pick to replace Tannehill?
I think Malik Willis has a huge upside. He's a mobile guy. He has a strong arm. But the thing is that we're going to be playing against great secondaries all year long. Like we're not playing South Dakota. We're not going to play NC State. These are perennial Pro Bowlers on these defenses. So you can't throw a guy like that into a fire when he's coming from a school like that. But I think with a year under his belt, a year or two learning, adapting to the pace of the game, I think he'll be okay in the future. But as of right now, just him throwing him in there, nah, he's not ready.
All right, T, run us home.
Yes, sir, guys. It's been a pleasure of a time. We got a couple minutes left as we wrap up here on the Buccateers podcast. Once again, we had the ultimate pleasure of dealing with Madden Underground and the great team that they bring to the table. So we're going to go ahead and close out a little bit here. And man, so much good conversation, so much good football talk. I almost lost track of time. It's like, holy crap, but that's what podcasting's for, man. You get going, you talk to people, you have a great time. Next thing you know, I could be on here for hours and hours and hours. It's really been a pleasure. So yeah, I guess we'll go around here and kind of just close out, give some closing words and words of wisdom for the pod as we head off, and hopefully we can have you fellas on throughout the season or sometime soon, especially those of your squads that we are matching up against this year. It'd be fun to have you guys on and shoot the stuff about that. We usually play the Giants every dang year, but we ain't playing them this year. So actually, I don't think we're playing Giants nor Titans nor Bills nor Jets this year. But nonetheless, we'll have you guys on.
We got Titans in the preseason.
Oh, there you go.
That's definitely a game right there.
Yep. So yeah, it is Titans preseason. So we'll run it right there, and we'll have the rest of the crew on throughout the year as well. So Snipes, thanks for coming on, my friend. I guess just close us out, and any last words you'd like to get in on the podcast.
Man, again, everybody, man, this was just incredible, man. I thank you guys so much, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting back on here again. I like talking like this. This is a lot of fun. I could talk a lot, so I better let everybody else talk because I could talk a whole lot.
Hey, I could talk for days, man. It's a great thing. That's why I started podcasting. I'm like, instead of nobody listening to me talk, might as well have a handful of people listening to me talk.
There it is.
It is what it is. With Snipes, man, your voice is incredible. Can't wait to tap into your content. And really, everyone, if you're looking for a voice or something to keep you entertained, Snipes has a terrific voice, and I'm excited to tap into his Madden announcing nonetheless right there. Mr. Brian James, will go to you next. Thomas Graham podcast on tap for tomorrow. That's very exciting for you gentlemen. And I've seen some other pros getting in the mix as well. Darrington Evans is tweeting at you guys in response to Thomas Graham as well. So kudos. That's really cool, man. What's the hopes about tomorrow's pod, and any other big plans for Madden Underground as we move quickly into the preseason?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, we'll have Thomas Graham, and you guys can actually track his progress in the leagues too as well, because he'll be participating in the leagues as well. We're going to be rolling out our featured and content creators this week. It's going to be a lot of great players such as Shift Guy Cole, VTech, Silver Fox, VA Dimes, B Guard, Dre Knows, VA Assassin, just a lot of great players that we're going to be featuring as featured players as they and track their progress as they compete in these big $1,000 tournaments that the EA is going to be throwing. So they're going to be giving us content that you guys can catch on the internet on our website at maddenunderground.com or on our YouTube page or even on our podcast on the Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Just check us out, man. And if you guys ever want to get all the updates on everything that we're doing, follow us on Twitter at UG Madden.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan and I'm following. So look forward to continue to following you guys and seeing all the great things you do. And I'm going to start dipping my toes into the Madden world again, stay close connected and see where your guys' leagues go, see where a guy like Thomas Graham ends up. And who knows what other guys might be joining your leagues or who, he might have a couple teammates interested in joining some leagues himself. Or we might have some Bucks guys to throw your way. You never know.
Yeah. Send them our way.
Yeah, you never know what can happen, man. That'd be awesome to see
Tampa,
there.
I was gonna tell you too, Tampa. Now, if you're only gonna play Madden, just keep in mind you don't have to go get an Xbox Series X. You can get the S and be just fine. Just so you know. And I know you're talking about you got to upgrade your console.
No, yeah. Series.
You can get a Series S, you'll be just fine.
You can go to any. All the stores carry them, and everybody think you have to get the big X, and it's like literally the same thing. It just doesn't have the hard drive.
Cool. I literally wrote that down. I'm not kidding, guys. Nowadays, it's like I've been out of the loop for years, so I really do appreciate that Xbox S. I have been out of the loop for a while. I'm looking forward to picking up that in Madden, hopefully in the near future. Thank you for that, Mr. Snipes, man. That's going to come in handy. I would have probably, went to the store. They probably would have had me buying the most expensive Xbox, but it turned the damn thing on and been like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, if that's all you're going to play, you'll be fine with that.
I appreciate that. 4 years ago, I was a little bit into Fortnite and whatnot, but yeah, since then, Madden, Fortnite, about 3-4 years ago, haven't picked up a controller, but I think I'm getting the itch back again, so going to have to tap in and check what it's about. Actually, that's a lie. I played a little bit of MLB The Show a couple years back, last year's MLB The Show. So,
yeah,
we did a league with that. Actually, that was a lot of fun because that is cross compatible. So
yeah, it is. It is.
That was pretty cool. I was playing people in PS4s and. I have an Xbox One still, so that's what I was rolling with. But still able to play, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, looking forward to picking up the Madden sticks. And last but not least, PhillyGuy, send us home, brother. What's some last words of wisdom you got for the podcast, or anything that you might feel like getting off your chest before we hop out of here?
Hey, well, the first thing is I just want to thank you guys again. I absolutely love your background. You see, I got this decorative painting here. There needs to be jerseys back here. There definitely needs to be jerseys back here. Maybe I'll get a green screen and do it. And Stunner, I swear that you've been listening on my conversations, brother, because you asked all the questions and had conversations, that me and Snipes and Brian that we talk about off the air, that we talk about all the time. And so it's just really great to be able to share this experience with you guys. Absolutely love this show. Now I know who to reach out to because I love to travel. So if I'm headed down to Tampa, you know what I'm saying? I know who the subject matter experts are.
Matter of fact, let me see where this game is at. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm just like, look, you guys are A+. Thank you so much. Had a great time, and looking forward to seeing y'all out on the field.
Absolutely. And Madden Underground, absolutely. Hit us up anytime. Any of you guys are in our neck of the woods, feel free to hit us up, man. We're always at Bucks games, Stunner season ticket holder. Myself, I get to about 5 or 6 games a year. I travel a little bit, so I'll be going to Indianapolis. I'll be going to Cleveland. I'll be going to Atlanta with Stunner. Going to be a fun time there. So,
okay.
Bucks fans always take over ATL. Don't get it twisted.
In and out of the stadium.
Atlanta, it gets grimy downtown that week.
In and out of the stadium, we've taken over. But one last question for you guys before we bounce out of here. I see you have merch on Brian James. Is that available for people, or is that kind of just a podcast thing?
This is actually something that will be available come August. It'll be available to the public. We trying to get it to the people on the podcast now. So, but definitely it'll be available come August. You'll be able to get the hats, the shirts, the polos, t-shirts, tank tops, everything via MaddenUnderground.com. So
that's wonderful. And yeah, we'll link your website as well when we link your new episode when we drop this weekend. So
okay,
we'll make sure to keep our eyes out for gear. I know what you're saying though, man. I made us mini helmets for the podcast, and I'm still yet to ship those. You know, it takes a while getting shit out and
yeah,
together and whatnot. But
I actually ordered these guys t-shirts, and they gave us infant size shirts today. Remember I was telling you, Snipes?
Yeah,
they were child like youth shirts. I'm like, bro, like come on, bro. Like I'm not putting together. They're thinking like it was some kids stuff. I'm like, no, we're grown men playing video games, okay? Like yeah, grown men shirts. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got that situated. So we'll get that out to you guys.
Hey, now you got some kid shirts to give away. Or, if you're stuck with him, you'll find something to do. You'll have some of those to use or whatnot. But gentlemen, it's been a blast. We look forward to talking and hopefully seeing you guys down the road, specifically throughout football season. We're going to continue in checking with you guys. And honestly, one way or another, we'd love to have you guys on towards the middle of football season to see what's up with Madden, see what's going on, what's happening with your leagues, checking in on our man Thomas Graham, seeing how he's performing, if it's up to par. I know I've seen CBS had him as one of their breakout players of the year, potentially coming up this year. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on. We're going to keep in touch, fellas, and we'll have to do this again sometime soon.
Most definitely.
Yes,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys once again, fellas. That is Madden Underground, PhillyGuy, Brian James, and Snipes. They were tremendous on our show. And Stunna, what do you say we send it home with the outro video, my friend?
Yeah, let's run it, man. If we could ever bring back live tournaments, gentlemen, we have all kind of resources right here in the city of Tampa.
Okay.
We have the Tampa Convention Center. We have Seminole Hard Rock Casino.
Okay.
We could run it, man. If y'all could ever organize that, hit me up. I got all kind of locations for it.
Oh, definitely. I'll be in touch, man.
Yep, just keep us in the loop. Stunna knows the city better than the damn mayor knows.
Yeah, he's the Uber.
Okay.
That's the man with the plan. On behalf of Stunna, Tampa Tones, Brian James in the building, PhillyGuy, and our man with the plan with the voice, Snipes. They've been Madden Underground. They've been fantastic. This has been another episode of the Buccateers. Until next time, it's always a pleasure. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.